Put your hand down. You smiling?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football. Football's fun.
Fun, sir.
Fun, sir.
It's fun.
Yes.
You sure?
I think.
Now you thinking. First you smile, then you think. You think football is still fun?
Yes.
Sir.
Yes. No.
No?
Sir. Well, it was fun.
Not anymore, though, is it? Is it?
No, not by.
No, it's not fun anymore.
No.
Not even a little bit.
No.
Make up your mind.
No.
Think. Since you're thinking, now go on, think.
No,
Is
no.
it fun?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Absolutely not?
Zero fun, sir.
All right, listen up. I'm Coach Boone. I'm going to tell you all about how much fun you're going to have this season.
Hello, Jeremy Hadler viewers. My name is Zach, owner, founder, all the above of BSC Cards. You can find us at BSC Cards on Instagram. What we're all about is a sports card hobby page showing off my personal collection of Cleveland Browns and other favorite players like GOAT Series legend Ray Guy. And on top of that, do some story sales pretty often to help get other collectors out there rare, unique pieces for their own enjoyment. I really have been in this hobby almost a decade now, put in that extra time to help find cool, rare pieces for all 32 NFL team fans to be able to enjoy. You can also follow us to get updated on when we'll be at a show or an event in the Eastern Pennsylvania or New Jersey area, and hope to see you all there. Enjoy the video coming up, and peace.
Hello folks, welcome to Jeremy Hadler's YouTube channel. I'm your host, Jeremy Hadler, and today I'll be giving my 2025-2026 AFC predictions by going through AFC East, the West, the North, and the South, of course, like I did with my NFC prediction video. I'll be going through the schedule, what I think about the team so far, the moves they made through this offseason, whether some were good or some were worse. I'll let you know how I feel about the team. So that's how I'll be doing it here through, again, the East, North, South, and West. Of course, I'm going to go through that order there. And of course, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're not done so. We would appreciate it. Let's start off here just to get it going here with the AFC East. And we're going to start with fourth place here to first place as I'm going to be doing it here. So fourth place I have coming in here for the AFC East is the New York Jets. So now you don't have Rodgers. You don't have Devontae Adams. You have a new head coach, Aaron Glenn, and you got a new GM. And in that offseason, they did not want Rodgers back. Devontae was a free agent, so they were gone. They addressed O-line. That was a big priority need because you have to make sure your new guy is in check, and that is Justin Fields that they did sign this offseason. And then they also extended Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, so that was pretty good. The interesting fact, though, I'm going to give it to you folks with Justin Fields is when his opponents score more than 21 points, he's 0-22. 0-22. That is not great. That's great for the Jets standards, but not great. And the Jets standards are not great, guys. This could go a bunch of different ways, and Justin Fields almost was out a couple weeks for the regular season because of a turf toe injury, but he's fine now, is what the reports are telling me as I'm recording this. The other things that happened with the Jets this past offseason was they lost DJ Reed, and the big thing that I think that needs to get addressed still from the Jets defense, because it's usually pretty good, is the run defense. The run defense was one of the worst last year, pretty bad. And when you have a new head coach, Aaron Glenn, that is something that they're going to be prioritizing in this regular season upcoming. I just don't see with the Jets that much of improvement. And last time they made playoffs was when the Packers won the Super Bowl, and that was 15 years ago. So, yeah, not great. Not great here. So I'm going to put the Jets here 6-11. Don't see much for them this year. Don't have high hopes for them. In third place in the AFC East, I got is the New England Patriots sitting at 7-10 here. I think they're going to take a step up and have a better game, have one more win than the New York Jets. I think the reasons why that is because I think Dre May is going to have a better year. They got Mike Vrabel, the new head coach out there. You got drafted Will Campbell, signed Milton Williams from the Philadelphia Eagles. Those are good things. So I think this is going to be a progress rebuild for the Patriots of what I'm seeing here. And their schedule's not too bad, so I think it's doable for them to get 7 wins. So it's a step progress here for Drake May from going from a worse record to rising above it. And they haven't been the same since the Tom Brady days, of course. I mean, you had Mac Jones that one time, but Mac Jones was not the answer, guys. We all knew that. So that's something that the Patriots need to get back on. I don't want them to get back on because you had your dynasty a very long time. Long time, that's way more than most NFL teams could ever have or will ever have. The big things that I want to see addressed by the Patriots is They need more weapons. Now, you did get Stephon Diggs, which was a pretty good move, but you need more weapons out there, whether it's a tight end, whether it's going a couple more wide receivers or more running backs. I think that's probably you need to give Drake Mason more toys to play with. Just give him more toys to play with to see how it works. Now, they need to address O-line and D-line. Now, I get that you got Will Campbell, you got Milton Williams, but you still need to address that. And that's going to be an issue to me from what I've seen from this Patriots team. It's going to struggle on both sides of the ball in the trenches here for the Patriots. That's something that needs to get addressed, and I think that's going to be a challenge for them for why they're not going to succeed so well is the trenches for them. So I think that's going to be a big issue for them. But again, I think it's just another rebuild year. I think Drake May is going to show some progress to the Patriot fans and gives them some hope. I think he can give us some hope, especially with Mike Vrabel, with former Patriots. So got the Patriots in here at 7-10 in third place here, the AFC East. In second place of the AFC East, I got is the Miami Dolphins finishing at 9-8. I think it's been an up and down year for the Dolphins. I really think it is because their defense is not so great. They struggled so many times last year. Tua, again, he kept getting hurt last year. Every time they kept getting hurt, the team wasn't the same. They just were not great, especially with Devon Achane was not great. So hopefully Tua is healthy. The other news that happened this offseason is they got Darren Waller, the tight end from the New York Giants, which he was retired and he just came out of it now. So we'll see if he plays. Then they also trade away Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey away to get back Minka Fitzpatrick, who they drafted a long time ago. They drafted him, and he succeeded very well with the Steelers. Now he's back with the Dolphins. And they also had retirements, too, with Teron Armstead, their offensive lineman. He retired, so that went out to get signing James Daniels, who got torn ACL last year from the Chicago Bears. Now he's with them, so hopefully he's healthy out to help out the O-line for the Dolphins because it was a good run game. They did have a good run game last year. I'd just like to see the weapons be used a lot better with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. I'd like to see that with Tua. If they can get the chemistry going and get it better and better, that's something to say for the Dolphins, to say that's the hope that I can see from that. Defensively is a big issue to me because you lack CBs, you lack consistent pass rush. Now, I get that you have Bradley Chubb, but he's not consistent. He's not what we wanted him like 5 years ago when he was pretty great. I think that has to still get addressed to me by lacking the pass rush, lacking CBs, and then the interior side of the O-line is an issue to me because you got to protect Tua, and Tua's had too many concussions, so he could be done. And it was scary last year. After they signed him that huge eccentric contract, he got hurt very soon after. That's something that's got to get healthy-wise for Tua. You got to make sure he's healthy, but can they win in the cold games or against the best teams? No, they just cannot. So, got the Dolphins here at 9-8. I just don't see them being a team to watch out for. I just don't see it. So, got Dolphins this year in second place at the AFC East. And then to take the crown here in the AFC East, I think it's pretty obvious here. I'm going with Buffalo Bills here at 12-5. I think 12-5 is a reasonable record given their schedule here. When I'm looking at it real quick, I mean, you got the Ravens, you got to play Bucks, you got the Chiefs, you got the Texans, the Bengals here, the Eagles as well. 5 losses is reasonable given that schedule there. But what happened with them this past offseason was they lost a couple guys on the defense. Von Miller's no longer there. You got the MVP back again, Josh Allen winning his first MVP, which some say he shouldn't have won, but it was overdue. He should have won anyway. So they got Josh Allen back. You got James Cook back, but I don't think James Cook is going to have that great of a season as he did last year. I just don't think he's going to be able to keep it up. I just think the issue to me with this Buffalo Bills, the defense has always been an issue to me, especially in the secondary. The run defense wasn't great either, so that has to get addressed because we've seen that numerous times in the playoffs or when they're in a big game, the game's on the line for the season, it has cost them too many times. Be solid against the Chiefs. Josh Allen has never beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs ever in his postseason career. Hasn't seen that yet. So once you break that, then it'll be good. I mean, you did a great defensive performance against the Broncos and the Ravens in the postseason. That was great and all. But you've been under the Chiefs, and it's time for the Bills to beat them finally. Now, you've had the chances away at the Chiefs Stadium and at home in the snow game. You need to see the Bills step it up a bit, and I do like their weapons with the guys, especially the wide receivers. Like, it gives them more varied situations, plus the time you got Dalton K as well. And I didn't think the Bills' offense would be so great last year because of losing Stephon Diggs. Now, you got the receivers, you got your weapons here, so hopefully you get a great offense once again. You'd like to see a little better on the interior side of the O-line for the offensive line's sake, but I think this Bills team is going to be pretty good once again. It's just the defense is my concern to me. If that defense can hold up in the secondary and stop the run, this team could go to the Super Bowl and beating the Chiefs. All right, let's get to the worst division, I would say, in football, which is the AFC South. Let's get this here for fourth place here. I have is the Tennessee Titans finishing at 4-13. There are a lot of holes on this Titans team. Lots of holes. I mean, the good thing that happened was you got Cam Moore. That was pretty good. You got Calvin Ridley. You got Tyler Lockett. So those are your receiver core right there. You did let Burks go, which he was not progress, and that was a terrible trade you guys made by letting go of A.J. Brown to the Eagles. They did address O-line by getting after Moore, Cushberry, and Zeitler. Defense has always been an issue to me with this Tennessee Titans team. It just has not been great. Secondary, D-line, pass rush, it just has not been great. And they really don't have many guys out there. I mean, you got Jeffrey Simmons. That's the only good guy. That's the only guy. You got Simmons out there, so it's not great. I mean, you did have Tony Pollard, who did an all right job for what he was doing in the run game, so that's something to look forward to. But I think the big story around the Titans is seeing how Cam Ward can translate and he can help this Titans and become the QB1 franchise for so many years. That's going to be a big story of how Cam Ward translates to the NFL. That's a big story for them. So I got finishing 4th place here. In 3rd place, I got is the Indianapolis Colts finishing at 7-10. Now, of course, you got the quarterback issue with Daniel Jones, and you've got Anthony Richardson, too, who struggled last year and had to get hurt the year prior. Was not great. So that's something that we have to see there. He's looked good in training camp so far from being told, so that's a good sign there for them. So what happened this offseason for the Colts? You got Tyler Warren, you drafted him, you lost Kelly and Fry, so the O-line took a step back. They addressed the secondary by getting Ward and Bynum. They just need more weapons. I'm going to get into that bit. Then they just recently extended Bahard Raymond to a 4-year, $100 million contract, so there are pieces where it could all work out. However, they haven't been put all together. Like you got pieces like up here, 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 here. They're trying to glue it. They're trying to put the puzzle all together, solve it, but it's not being solved. It's going wrong places, putting the wrong puzzles on the jigsaw puzzle differently. Just terrible. And that's the issue to me. What I have for the Colts is Anthony Richardson. He's got to be better. Got to develop the run game better now, especially with losing your O-line. So that's going to take a step back right away. Defensively has definitely been an issue, especially with the pass rush and the linebackers a bit too. That has to get addressed. Now, you did address the secondary, but we got to expand. We got to expand and put it all together here. And that is something that has to definitely get addressed. Now, where I see in the offense, the O-line is definitely an issue. The weapons are nice. You got Mitchell, Pittman, Jonathan Taylor back there, which is pretty good. And now you got Ty Warren. So offensively, weapons, you're doing pretty good. It's the quarterback and the O-line are my issues on that side. Defensively, it just needs to get better. It just is not looked right for me. So I think the Colts are going to struggle a bit, especially Richardson, and that defense is not holding up for me. So I got him finishing at 7-10 in 3rd place here. I just need to see Richardson get better and better, but that has been an issue of injury and just inconsistency last year. At the Colts finishing here in 3rd place here, the AFC South. In 2nd place, I got is the Jacksonville Jaguars finishing at 8-9. Duval. That's what the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars said. I just don't see the Jaguars producing as much. Now, you got Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor, he's been inconsistent. Now, when he began his career early, it looked very bright and looked good. Recently, it has not looked great. It just has not looked great. Plus, he's been hurt. Just hasn't looked good. What do I like about this Jaguars offense is you got Brian Thomas, you got Travis Hunter, who will be playing a couple wide receiver and CB. That was definitely a great piece that the Jaguars got to make the trade for him. So I like that. Besides that, they really have no weapons. They really have no weapons. So that's an issue to me. And the run game is still being developed under ETN and Tanks Bigsby. Like, they had inconsistency there in the run game. So they're able to develop a run game better. That'll be good. They did lose Evan Engram. They're starting a whole new fresh toys here for Trevor Lawrence to see what fits and what does not fit. So we have to see how that goes. I just think it's me up and down year once again here, especially with this Jaguars team. Like, offensively, I think it's me a struggle. I just think it is. Defensively, they have good pass rush, I will give them, and good linebackers out there. I like that. Now you're adding Travis Hunter out there. Good CB role right then and there. Just think the secondary needs to be addressed a little bit more than just getting Travis Hunter. I think it's a good move, but needs to be addressed a little bit more. I do love Josh Allen, or Josh Hines Allen now it's pronounced now. He's been phenomenal since his days from Kentucky, so I really like him a lot. It's just, can they develop their guys overall? Like Walker, can he get developed on the defense? Can we get Devin Lloyd developed? Like, can we get these guys more developed out here on this defense? That's what I need to see here from the defense side, and then Trevor Lawrence's offense putting it together once again, especially in that run game. That run game is established. That is going to be a good offense. But until I see that, I just don't see it for the Jags. So I'm going to put him 8-9 here in 2nd place of the AFC South. And then to take the crown here in the AFC South is the Houston Texans at 11-6. No shock here whatsoever, folks. The good things that happened to them this offseason was they got a new O-line coach and a new offensive coordinator. So that is two good things right there because the O-line was terrible. Now it's still a bad offensive line. It's mediocre. It's not so good. Now, I did like that they brought in C.J. Gardner-Johnson through the trade of the Eagles. They traded their best O-lineman away, Tunsil. That was not so great because you need O-line to address. However, they got a good draft haul in return, so that wasn't terrible. Texans are trying to be like the Bengals here of that offensive line. Mediocre at best. That's what they're trying to be. The weakness really is the interior side of that O-line. If it can be better, that's good. That's what they need to focus on mostly. They did draft Jane Higgins, who I like a lot, so that's another good weapon out there to replace Tank Dell. And the biggest question is CJ Stroud. He had the slump sophomore year. He was just terrible. Could he repeat what we all thought he was going to do from his rookie season? Didn't happen. So now the question is going to be, can he replicate from what he started from his rookie year to this upcoming season? That's the question. I don't know. You have to see how it goes to the offensive line, see how bad it is, because that did play a little factor into it. However, he still struggled through the season. That's going to make it bad. It's going to be a struggle here for CJ Stroud. So I think the Texans, if you can get the CJ Stroud that you wanted from the rookie's year, then I think this team's going to do pretty well. For now, I just don't think they're able to beat the best teams in the AFC. Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. They just cannot beat them. I think that's where I'm seeing here, especially with 11-6, being the best teams there. So the Texans finish here in first place, the AFC South. And then we head to the AFC North. In fourth place, I have is the Cleveland Browns finishing at 5-11. I think that's reasonable given the quarterback situation room. There is no clear guy. I really just don't see it out of this team this year. And I think this might be the last year of Kevin Stefanski as the head coach of the Browns. This might be. The good part that they have for Cleveland is Jerry Jeudy. They locked him up. So that's one good bit. That is at least one good piece here for the Browns. You also got Deontay Johnson, who did not play much with Carolina and Baltimore last year, really didn't. But they really need wide receivers. I mean, they need guys like that to help out this quarterback room, give them weapons to play with. There's not many weapons to play with. I mean, you got David Njoku. Running backs, you did draft one, Keyshawn Jenkins, but we have no idea about his whereabouts. So the good part, I will say, is that they got Mason Graham, even though I thought they should have gotten Travis Hunter. Mason Graham does provide a good help on that D-line because the D-line was terrible. It was not great. He did extend Myles Garrett to almost one out this offseason, but he's back, so that's good for you guys. So defensively, it did help. I think the weak side I'm seeing here for this defense is the red zone. They gave up too many touchdowns last year. Plus, you got JOK out for the year. That hurts them a lot. So that's the only issues I have on the defense is just the red zone and JOK with the linebacker being out. That's my issue there. Offensively, too many issues. There's too many issues. The quarterbacks, the receivers, and the O-line. It's just going to be a mess. It's a mess out there for Cleveland. So I think 5-11 is a fair assessment for the Browns. I think it's a fair assessment. So got it finishing here in fourth place. In third place of this AFC North, I got is the Pittsburgh Steelers finishing at 9-8 to keep that tradition alive of 500 or more for Mike Tomlin, who's never had a losing season. But what did I see this offseason that kind of blew me away? They had to wait for Aaron Rodgers to come because people were getting annoyed, but they knew he was going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. It just took them some time. That is good for the Steelers. At least you have a quarterback. You trade for DK Metcalf. Trade away George Pickens. And I think trading away George Pickens was a smart move because he's a bit of a diva, and you saw last year, especially in the Cleveland snow game, signed TJ Watt to a huge extension, so he will be here. And they really don't have much money elsewhere to go spend. They did make a trade for Jalen Ramsey to come here and give up Minka Fitzpatrick, who's seen very well for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they also got to bring Johnny Smith to have another weapon with Pat Freiermuth. They did bring Darius Slay, which is another good move for them. Aging secondary, which is not so good. Would like to see it better. Now, the D-line is a slight concern as well. It's not a huge concern. I mean, you did draft Harmon, who I think is going to be a good addition out there. Overall, though, I think the defense is still pretty good. So if that's one, kudos. Now, for your offense, above average offense is what you really need out of this Pittsburgh Steelers team because they've been like the quarterback away from succeeding. They need a better running back. I mean, Warren is all right. He's not the best. Rodgers, you guys see how he is after the whole injuries and the Jets fiasco. If he could be above average or have his down year, he always claims is the best years for most quarterbacks, that would be good for the Steelers offense. That is really the issues I have is just the defense side, the secondary. The O-line I feel like it's going to be like the Jets again, where it's just not healthy and it's going to hurt Rodgers. He's going to get sacked too many times and just going to hurt and no established run game either. So that is my issue I have for the offensive side. Plus, I think the chemistry between DK and Rodgers is going to be pretty good. Like DK still going to have Devontae Adams' role. I think it's going to be above average offense. Not the top 10 offense, but just above average. And that's what you need out of Pittsburgh Steelers team. You need that for the offense. That Steelers finishing at 9-8 in third place of this division. In second place of this AFC North division, I got is the Cincinnati Bengals here at 11-6. I think it's a fair assessment when given the whole fiasco that's occurred with Trey Henderson holdout. Who knows when that deal will get done? I don't know. I don't know when that's going to get done. Maybe as soon as I put this video out right now, as I'm recording right now, as I'm doing it as August 1st, maybe a deal gets done today. Maybe a deal does. But that is the huge issue with this Bengals team is the defense. You've lost so many guys over these years. You lost DJ Reader, who is good on the defensive side, but the secondary is definitely concerning. You cannot hold up. Offensively, try to keep getting better and better to make it like the highest scoring offense of all time. They're just trying to do that. You did re-sign T. Higgins, which is pretty good. You extended him. You got the two receivers, Jamar Chase as well. Got Joe Burrow, hopefully he's healthy once again. Mike Gesicki re-signed. You also brought in Noah Fant. The only issue I have on the offense is just the O-line. And it's always going to be an issue, but that's my only issue for the offense. Defensively, very terrible. The pass rush, I mean, you lost Sam Hubbard to retirement, but you got Smart Stewart for the replacement, and now you need Trey Hendrickson back. You got the best offense in the league, and you got the worst defense in the league. That doesn't work. You need to have like a little bit of even balance here. You need to have an even steam here, because that is the reason why the Bengals did not do well last year, and that's why they cannot keep up and make the playoffs. They almost made it last second here, but every year we always see with the Bengals is they start out slow. They start out, and we've seen it the past couple of 3 years, 1-3, 1-4. Like Bengals cannot do that. If they really want to take themselves as contenders and get back to the Super Bowl. That has to be done for the Bengals here. Got them finishing in second place. First place, let's go right to it, is the Baltimore Ravens. Going to say 11-6 as well here. I really like this Ravens team a lot. I mean, of course, you got Lamar Jackson. Didn't win MVP. Probably should have. However, there were some that say he shouldn't. I mean, I'm not that person, but Josh Allen deserved to win MVP. Maybe it wasn't this past year, but still. Lamar Jackson, fantastic season once again. What I like about this team is the offense. You got Zay Flowers. You still have Mark Andrews, and that was terrible. What Mark Andrews had to do with the Ravens against the Bills in the postseason. Horrible memories to the Ravens fans. Sorry about that. But it was not there. Lamar, the team, they just couldn't get it done against Buffalo in the past. They just couldn't. Now, the defense, I like it a bit with Starks. That was a good signing there. Now, the issues I do have is the pass rush is a little concerning to me. I mean, you do have M'Baku. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. You have him, who's great, but get another guy out there. I want to see another pass rusher out there for his Ravens defense. And the CBs were not great. They weren't great because of the injuries and getting banged up too much. And we saw that the one game against the Browns last year. So if they're able to keep guys healthy and have better CBs, that should be good. They did sign Jair Alexander, my Packer. If he could stay on the field, good signing. Because he has been hurt too many times. So low risk, high reward is how I put it. So that has to show to me the defense-wise. And you did get DeAndre Hopkins, which is just bizarre to me because he now wants to be on the winning team, and he did that with the Chiefs last year. So maybe the Ravens help him out here with the Super Bowl. Maybe they get the Super Bowl here. And they did lose Macari, which that definitely hurts them a little bit in the O-line. But I still think this Ravens team is going to be good. It's just, can the guys be healthy? If you can have a healthy defense, then this Ravens team is doing pretty well. And Derrick Henry, I need to see that, like, he's definitely going to decline a little bit of that production because no one thought he was going to have that kind of production. So if they're able to keep like a similar production and he's able to keep up, this Ravens offense should be good. It should be pretty good. So I think 11-6 is a fair assessment here as I'm looking at the Ravens schedule. That's a fair assessment. So got him taking the crown here in the AFC North. And then we get to our last division here in the AFC prediction video is the AFC West. I'm going to start from first because I think we all know who it's plain obvious. So I'm going to go first through fourth to spice it up for you guys here. First place, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that was a shocker. Not really. Got finishing at 12-5 here. Patrick Mahomes lost the Super Bowl, so he's on Mahomes' revenge tour here. You don't want to poke with the bear because Mahomes, when he loses, he performs very well and redemption right back. So that's been interesting to see how the Chiefs play out there. Other news that has happened in this offseason was Rasheed Rice, raised for 5 years after his incident last year. So he will be in jail in the future, but doesn't look like he's going to be serving his 30 days in jail this season. However, there could be suspension along the lines there, so have to wait and see if he'll get suspended or not. They did trade their one offensive lineman, Joe Thuney, to Chicago Bears. They drafted Simmons and they signed Jalen Moore. They extended Trey Smith. That is good that they're trying to fix their O-line a little bit to keep the core and try to address it a little bit. So that's got to get better, especially when it was terrible in the pass protection last year. So that's something you got to be good about, because that definitely has affected Mahomes when he's lost in the Super Bowls. The O-line was completely terrible. They also have good weapons. I mean, you did lose DeAndre Hopkins, but you still have good weapons with Xavier Worthy. You got Rasheed Rice. You do have your good tight end with Travis Kelce, of course. They do have good weapons around them. They're going to go running back committee from what I'm seeing here with Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco. I think offensively, they should be fine if they address the O-line. Defensively, I really like this defense a lot. Now, it was terrible in the Super Bowl. However, I think it's done a pretty nice job over the years, especially with the dynasty. It's been happening with them. So I think overall, with this Chiefs team is, can they go right back to where they started? They looked a little fluky last year of how they're winning games, especially against bad teams. They're barely winning, so got to get the job done. For Patrick Mahomes. He's got to get the job done. Same thing with Andy Reid and the Chiefs. Got to see it. And this could be Travis Kelce's last year. Got the Chiefs finishing here 12-5. First place here of the AFC West. And then coming second place here of this AFC West, I got is the Denver Broncos finishing at 10-7. I really like what they did this offseason. They were one of my big offseason winners. They took guys from the 49ers defense that was created with Greenlaw Ufanga. They signed J.K. Dobbins. They drafted Harvey and Barron. They also extended Cortland Sutton. That is all good right away. Secondary was a priority, and they addressed that, so that's pretty good. Offensively, they did bring in Evan Engram, and they brought in Harvey, as I just mentioned before, and J.K. Dobbins. We could be seeing a little running back committee, but I really like the weapons surrounding Bo Nix. I think he's done a fantastic job of getting a little bit better. He's been better than from where he started, so he finished strong last year. So I think he'll be solid for the Broncos. Now, where I have my concern with this offense is the center and a little bit the receivers. I think that's a bit of my issue here. You just need to get another weapon out there. I think Marvin Mims, he has to step up his game. You can't just rely on Cortland Sutton. We saw that against the Bengals last year in that shootout game in overtime. Sutton's great and all, but you just got to get better. You got to get better at that. And then the center, that has to get addressed, because there were some times where it was not going great, the checkdowns, and he just kept messing up. This high snap fumble, it just kept going bad. So I think that's my issue I have on the Broncos offense side. Defensively, they need to get another inside linebacker. They also struggled with the run last year. So if you're able to stop that, both of them, boom, that would be pretty good. I mean, the secondary, we will see now how it goes, because you did address it. Now you got a great CB duo here with Patrick Surtain and Jody Barron. So that's a good duo right there. Plus, you get your linebacker Greenlaw. So hopefully you get something out of him after that horrific injury from the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And Ufanga, who should be pretty good here in the secondary for the Broncos. In third place, I got is the Los Angeles Chargers here, finishing at 9-8. Now, I think 9-8's going to be where I'm seeing here, because they really don't have that many weapons out there. Now, of course, you did draft in the run game, and you got some guys out there, like you got Hampton, you signed Najee Harris. You did improve the overall offensive line with Mekhi Becton, which is pretty good. You extended Rashawn Slater. Great deal. And you also got Joe Control Alt Delete. Great nickname there. I think there's going to be a better run game. The weapons, not so good. Now, you do have Ladd McConkey, but he's banged up a little bit. Quinn Johnson, he has not been great. So we'd like to see the weapons surrounding Ladd McConkey in the run game. You need that to be better. We'd like to see better weapons there for the Chargers. Maybe you bring back Keenan, maybe you bring him back. But they really need better weapons out there. So that's interesting to me on the offense, is you need more weapons out there. Number two, on the defensive side now, you need to be better than the D-line. The D-line was not so great last year. You lost Ford. You released Boza. You did re-sign Khalil Mack, but you just need overall a better pass rush, a better D-line, stop the run. And then secondary, it needs to be improved a little bit. I mean, of course, you got your best player in the secondary, but he's been banged up a couple times before, and he's still good with Derwin James. Derwin James has been still good, but he needs to get him more healthy. He needs to stay on top of things, because if he's not able to stay healthy, this secondary is going to get banged up and going to lose a lot of games to the Chargers here. And plus, you have to play in a top division here of the AFC West. I just don't see them taking that step. I just don't see them getting right there. They did lose the Texans last year in the playoffs, but again, I think it's be up and down year. Prove me wrong, Chargers. Prove me wrong, but I just see him third place, 9-8. All right, to get the last place to round out here for this video, I got is the Las Vegas Raiders finishing in dead last once again, which they have been finishing in dead last the past couple years. They did make a lot of changes this year, and 7-10 is my prediction. I have them going here. You, of course, got Pete Carroll as your new head coach. Got Ashton Genty. Got a new quarterback in Geno Smith. You do have Brock Bowers. That's pretty good, who was fantastic last year. You did get some good pieces by addressing your line with Kappa. You get Jeremy Chin. You got Eric Stokes, but he's not so good. I know that as my Packer fan. Colton Miller to a 3-year, $66 million contract. The issues I have, and I'll get to the one issue later, but the issues I have with this team overall is the O-line. I think it's an average O-line. That has to get better. The secondary is the biggest issue I have. I think that's a huge issue to me because they have to address the CBC. You lost Nate Hobbs, who went to my Packers, thank you. And you got Eric Stokes, but I don't think he's the guy there. They got burned so many times last year in the secondary. So many times. They needed to address that, and you really didn't address it in my eyes. It's just going to hurt them so many times. So I think the defense is what's going to let me down here if I want to praise the Raiders for addressing offense and going after improving a bit. That's something that hurts them too. And then the other big news occurred was releasing Christian Wilkins. And that definitely hurts your defense a lot more, that D line. So taking him out, this doesn't help the Raiders defense at all. It just doesn't. So, but I just don't see this defense great at all. I just don't see it being good. Bad defense in my opinion. So after the Raiders finishing in 4th place, I think that's the fair assessment. And until that defense improves, then you can change my mind and put the Raiders above ahead. But until then, Raiders dead last. To give you my AFC playoff predictions of who I'm going to have proceeding-wise, and just to give it to that, of who I have making the playoffs, is the Bills, the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Ravens, of course, the division leaders. And you got your 3 wildcard teams. I think the Bengals are making it. Then the Denver Broncos making it. Last wildcard spot, I think it's between 3 teams, the Dolphins, the Steelers, and the Chargers. I don't see with the Dolphins. Steelers, Chargers. I think the Steelers make the playoffs as that last spot to get blown out in the first round. Just the Steelers way of how it is. So that's what I got there, folks, for my teams being in the playoffs as well. But once again, appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not done so. We appreciate it. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Where do you have your teams and your sleeper teams or upset overrated teams? Let me know in the chat of what you guys think. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time, folks. Have a great day.